The daughter who didn't know she was adopted. Hashtag Chapter 1. The Perfect Life. The morning sun painted everything gold in the Whitmore mansion. Crystal chandeliers sparkled like frozen raindrops. Marble floors gleamed so bright you could see your own reflection staring back at you. Sophia Whitmore stood by her bedroom window, brushing her long dark hair. 18 years old. Beautiful. Rich. Perfect life. Or so everyone thought. Sophia, breakfast is ready, darling. Her mother's voice called from downstairs. Mrs. Catherine Whitmore. Elegant. Always dressed like she was going to a royal ball. Pearl necklaces. Designer dresses. A smile that never quite reached her eyes. Sophia walked down the grand staircase, her fingers trailing along the gold railing. The dining room was massive. A table that could seat 20 people. But only 3 chairs were ever used. Her father, Richard Whitmore, sat reading the financial newspaper. Gray hair perfectly combed. Expensive suit. He barely looked up when Sophia entered. "Good morning, Daddy." "Morning," he mumbled, eyes still on the stock numbers. Sophia sat down. A woman in a simple gray uniform immediately appeared, placing a plate of pancakes in front of her. "Thank you, Maria," Sophia said softly. Maria, the housekeeper. She'd been working for the Whitmore family for almost 19 years. Quiet, always in the background. Dark hair pulled back tight. Tired eyes that seemed to carry 1,000 secrets. Maria nodded but didn't smile. She never smiled. Not really. "Sophia, don't forget," Mrs. Whitmore said, sipping her tea delicately. "The charity gala is tonight. You need to wear the blue dress I bought you. The one from Paris." "Yes, Mother. And fix your posture, darling. A Whitmore always sits straight." Sophia straightened her back. Always the same. Always perfect. Always Whitmore. But sometimes late at night Sophia felt different. Like something didn't fit. Like a puzzle piece forced into the wrong spot. Hashtag Chapter 2. The Forbidden Attic. 3 days later, Sophia was bored. Her parents had gone to some business conference in New York. The mansion felt empty. Too quiet. "I'm going to explore," she told herself. The Whitmore mansion had 32 rooms. But there was one place Sophia had never been allowed to go. The attic. "That's just old storage, darling," her mother always said. "Nothing interesting up there. Just dust and spiders." But today, curiosity burned bright in Sophia's chest. She climbed the narrow stairs. The door creaked open. Dust danced in the light from a small window. Old furniture covered in white sheets. Boxes stacked everywhere. Sophia walked carefully between the boxes. Most were labeled, "Winter Clothes 2015. Old books. Richard's college papers." Then she saw it. A small box in the corner. Different from the others. No label. Just plain brown cardboard, tied with a faded ribbon. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside, baby clothes. Tiny. Pink. A small blanket with embroidered flowers. And underneath everything, photographs. Sophia's breath caught in her throat. The first photo showed a young woman holding a newborn baby. The woman looked exhausted but happy. She had dark hair and tired eyes. Sophia had seen before. Maria. Sophia's heart pounded like thunder. Her hands shook as she looked at more photos. Maria, younger, maybe 19 years old, holding a baby girl. Maria crying. Maria kissing the baby's forehead. And then, a document. Official. Legal. Adoption certificate. Child, Sophia Marie. Biological mother, Maria Elena Reyes. Adoptive parents, Richard and Catherine Whitmore. Date, March 15, 2006. The world stopped spinning. Sophia dropped the paper. Her legs felt weak. She sat down hard on an old trunk. No. No, no, no. Her whole life was a lie. Maria wasn't the housekeeper. Maria was her mother. Hashtag Chapter 3. Silent Truths. Sophia didn't know how long she sat there. Minutes? Hours? Time felt broken. Finally, she heard footsteps on the stairs. "Miss Sophia? Are you up here?" Maria's voice. Sophia couldn't move. Couldn't speak. The photos were scattered around her. The adoption certificate lay open on her lap. Maria appeared at the top of the stairs. When she saw Sophia surrounded by the memories, her face went pale, white as snow. Her hand flew to her mouth. "Oh God! Oh no! Is it true?" Sophia's voice cracked. Are you my mother?" Maria's eyes filled with tears. She nodded slowly, just once. The truth hung in the air between them, heavy, painful, real. "Why?" Sophia whispered. "Why didn't you tell me?" Maria walked closer, her steps slow and careful, like approaching a wounded animal. She knelt down in front of Sophia. "Because I promised," Maria said, her voice breaking. "I promised them I would never tell you, that I would never interfere, that I would just work here, watch you grow up from a distance. That was the deal." "The deal?" Sophia's anger rose. "What deal? You sold me?" "No!" Maria cried out. "Never. I would never." "Sophia, please, let me explain." Sophia wanted to run, wanted to scream, but she needed to know, needed to understand. "Then explain," she said coldly. Maria took a deep breath, wiped her eyes. "I was 19, working as a maid in a hotel. Your father, he was kind to me, or I thought he was. We spent time together. I fell in love. I was so stupid, so young." Sophia listened, her heart breaking with every word. "When I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified. I told Richard. He didn't want anyone to know. He was engaged to Catherine, from a rich family, a marriage that would make him even more powerful. So he paid you off," Sophia said bitterly. "He offered me a choice," Maria continued, tears streaming down her face. "Give you up for adoption to strangers, never see you again. Or let him and Catherine adopt you, raise you as their daughter, and I could stay, work here, be close to you, watch you grow up. And you chose this," Sophia said. "You chose to be a servant in my life instead of my mother. I chose to be near you." Maria sobbed. "Don't you understand? I was alone. No money, no family, no education. I couldn't give you anything. Nothing. But they could give you everything. This house, education, a future. You could have given me love," Sophia shouted, standing up. "Real love. Not this lie. I did love you," Maria cried. "Every single day. Every morning when I made your breakfast. Every night when I cleaned your room. Every birthday when I baked your cake. I loved you with every breath I took." Sophia's vision blurred with tears. Her whole world was crumbling. Does Catherine know?" Maria nodded. "She's always known. It was her idea. She couldn't have children. This way, Richard got to keep his reputation. Catherine got the daughter she always wanted. And I got to watch you grow. And I got nothing but lies," Sophia whispered. She pushed past Maria and ran down the stairs. Hashtag Chapter 4. The Confrontation. Sophia locked herself in her room for 2 days. She didn't eat, barely slept, just cried and stared at the adoption certificate she'd taken from the attic. When her parents returned from New York, Sophia was waiting in the living room. "Darling, we brought you." Catherine stopped when she saw Sophia's face. "We need to talk," Sophia said. Her voice was ice. Richard set down his briefcase. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" Sophia threw the adoption certificate on the coffee table. Catherine gasped. Richard's face turned red. "Where did you find that?" he demanded. "In the attic. In a box. Hidden away like garbage." Sophia stood up. How could you both lie to me for 18 years? "Sophia, please, calm down," Catherine started. "Don't." Sophia cut her off. "Don't tell me to calm down. Don't tell me anything. You're not even my mother." Catherine flinched like she'd been slapped. "We are your parents," Richard said firmly. "We raised you, loved you, gave you everything. Everything except the truth." "The truth?" Richard's voice rose. "You want the truth? Fine. Your biological mother was a maid. A nobody. She got pregnant because she was careless. We saved you from a life of poverty and shame. Richard, Catherine gasped. She would have raised you in some tiny apartment, working 3 jobs, no education, no future. We gave you a mansion, private schools, everything. Sophia felt sick. You talk about her like she's trash. She was a mistake that I fixed, Richard said coldly. The slap echoed through the room. Sophia's hand stung. Richard's cheek turned red. Catherine covered her mouth in shock. She's a person, Sophia said, her voice shaking with rage. Her name is Maria, and she's more real than you'll ever be. She turned to Catherine. And you played dress up with someone else's daughter. Made me call you mother when you knew the truth. How did you sleep at night? Catherine's eyes filled with tears. I loved you like my own. But I'm not your own. Sophia screamed. I never was. And you made sure I never knew who I really was. She ran upstairs, leaving her parents in stunned silence. Hashtag chapter 5. Maria's story. That night, Sophia found Maria in the kitchen. It was late, almost midnight. Maria was cleaning like she always did. Can we talk? Sophia asked quietly. Maria turned, surprised. Of course, Miss Sophia. Don't call me that. Please. Just Sophia. Maria nodded, setting down her dishcloth. They sat at the small kitchen table. The one the staff used. The one Sophia had never sat at before. Tell me everything, Sophia said. I need to know who I am. Maria took a deep breath. And then she told her story. I came from a small town in Mexico. My parents died when I was 16. I crossed the border alone. Scared. Desperate for work. Any work. I ended up in a hotel in Los Angeles. Cleaning rooms. Washing. Sheets. It was hard, but it was honest. Sophia listened, really listened, for the first time. Your father stayed at that hotel during a business trip. He was kind at first, tipped well, talked to me like I was a person, not just a maid. I was so lonely. When he said he cared about me, I believed him. Maria's voice cracked. I was so stupid, so naive. I thought maybe someone like him could love someone like me. You weren't stupid, Sophia said softly. You were young. He took advantage of you. Maria smiled sadly. When I told him I was pregnant, everything changed. He became cold, distant, said it would ruin him. His engagement to Catherine, his family's reputation, his business deals. What did you do? I cried for days. I had no money, no papers. I was illegal in this country. If I went to the authorities, I'd be deported. If I kept you, we'd be homeless. Maria wiped her eyes. Then Richard came back with a proposal. He and Catherine would adopt you. I would work here as a housekeeper. I could see you every day, watch you grow up. But I could never tell you the truth. Never act like your mother. Just exist nearby. That's torture, Sophia whispered. It was both torture and blessing, Maria said. Every morning I brought you breakfast. I memorized your smile. Every night I cleaned your room. I looked at your drawings on the wall. When you were sick, I stayed up all night praying. When you graduated elementary school, I cried in the pantry because I was so proud. Sophia's tears fell freely now. I never knew. You weren't supposed to know. That was the rule. But I broke it in small ways. Your birthday cakes? I always made them, even though Catherine took credit. The flowers in your room? I picked them from the garden myself. The night light when you were afraid of the dark? I put it there. The night light shaped like a butterfly, Sophia whispered, remembering. Your favorite. I knew because I watched you, always watching, always loving from the shadows. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Sophia reached across the table and took Maria's hand. I don't know what to do, Sophia admitted. I'm so angry, so confused. My whole life feels fake. Your life isn't fake, Maria said gently. Your feelings are real. Your dreams are real. You are real, Sophia. More real than any of us. Who am I? Sophia asked. Am I Sophia Whitmore? Am I Sophia Reyes? I don't even know my own name. You're Sophia, Maria said simply. My beautiful, strong, wonderful daughter. No matter what name you choose, that will never change. Hashtag chapter 6. The decision. The next few weeks were impossible. Sophia moved through the mansion like a ghost. Catherine tried to talk to her, but Sophia couldn't look at her without feeling sick. Richard avoided everyone, hiding in his office. And Maria? Maria went back to being invisible, cleaning, cooking, watching from afar. But now Sophia watched back. She noticed things she'd never seen before. How Maria's hands trembled when she served Sophia's food. How she stood outside Sophia's door at night, just for a moment before walking away. How she cried silently in the laundry room when she thought no one was watching. One morning, Sophia made a decision. She walked into the kitchen where Maria was preparing breakfast. I want to know everything, Sophia said. About you, about your family, about Mexico, about who I really am. Maria looked up, hope flickering in her tired eyes. Really? Really? I want to know where I come from. Not the Whitmore history, the Reyes history, my history. Maria smiled, a real smile, the first one Sophia had ever seen. My mother, your grandmother, her name was Rosa. She made the most beautiful embroidery, flowers and birds. She could turn plain cloth into art. Do you know how? Sophia asked. Yes, she taught me before she died. Will you teach me? Maria's eyes filled with tears. I would love that. And so, in the evenings, when the mansion grew quiet, Sophia and Maria sat together in the small staff room. Maria taught her to embroider, showed her how to make the tiny stitches, how to choose colors, how to bring flowers to life with just thread and patience. They talked about everything, about Rosa, about Maria's childhood, about Mexican traditions, about food and music and stories. Your great-grandfather was a musician, Maria told her one night. He played the guitar at weddings and festivals. People said he could make you cry with just a few notes. Is that where my love for music comes from? Sophia wondered. She'd always loved playing piano, but never knew why it felt so natural. Maybe, Maria said, maybe it's in your blood, the Reyes blood. Sophia liked that idea, that she carried pieces of people she'd never met, that she was more than just the Whitmore name. Hashtag chapter 7. Catherine's truth. One evening, Catherine knocked on Sophia's door. May I come in? Sophia considered saying no, but something in Catherine's voice sounded broken. Okay. Catherine entered, looking smaller somehow, less perfect. Her makeup was smudged. Her hair wasn't perfectly styled. I know you hate me, Catherine said quietly. You have every right to. Sophia didn't respond. Catherine sat on the edge of the bed. I need to tell you something. The truth. The whole truth. I already know the truth. Not all of it. Catherine took a shaky breath. When I was 23, I had cancer. They had to remove everything. I could never have children. Never. Sophia looked at her, surprised. I was devastated, Catherine continued. My whole life, I'd imagined being a mother, holding my baby, watching them grow, and suddenly that future was gone. So you took someone else's baby, Sophia said bitterly. I thought I was helping, Catherine said. When Richard told me about Maria, about you, I saw a solution, a way for everyone to win. Maria would be safe. You would have everything. And I would finally be a mother. But you weren't, Sophia said. You were just pretending. No, Catherine's voice was firm. I wasn't pretending. Every sleepless night when you had colic, every fever, every scraped knee, every school play, every tear, every laugh, that was real. My love for you was real. But the foundation was a lie. Yes, Catherine admitted. And I'm sorry, so deeply sorry. I convinced myself that giving you a good life was enough, that you'd never need to know, that I could be enough. Were you jealous of Maria? Sophia asked. Catherine was quiet for a long moment. Every single day, I saw how you looked like her, moved like her, had her smile. And I knew that no matter how much I loved you, I could never be what she was. Your real mother. Then why keep her around? Why torture yourself? Because Richard insisted. And because seeing her pain made me feel less guilty. If she was suffering too, then maybe what we did wasn't completely wrong. Sophia felt something shift inside her. She didn't forgive Catherine. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But she understood a little better. I'm not going to call you mother anymore, Sophia said. Catherine flinched but nodded. I understand. But maybe someday I can call you Catherine. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Hashtag chapter 8. The final truth. 2 months later, Sophia turned 19. No big party this year. Just a quiet dinner. Maria made her favorite cake. Tres leches. A recipe from her grandmother Rosa. Catherine gave her a small box. Inside was a delicate gold bracelet. It was my mother's, Catherine said. I want you to have it. Not because I'm trying to buy your love, but because you're still my daughter. In the ways that matter. Sophia put it on. Felt strange. But also, right. Richard didn't come to dinner. He'd become even more distant, buried in work and guilt. That night, Sophia found him in his office. Dad. He looked up, surprised. She hadn't called him that in months. Can we talk? Richard gestured to a chair. Sophia sat down. I'm not going to forgive what you did, Sophia said. How you treated Maria. How you lied to me. How you built my whole life on a secret. Richard's jaw tightened. I know. But I need to understand. Did you ever love her? Maria. Richard was quiet for a long time. Finally, I don't know. I thought I did. But maybe I just loved how she made me feel. Important. Needed. I was young and selfish. You hurt her. I know. She gave up everything for me. Her dignity. Her identity. Her whole life. I know. Sophia stood up. I'm going to college next year. And when I do, I'm taking Maria with me. She's going to finally have a life. A real life. Sophia. That's not a request. That's what's happening. You owe her that much. Richard looked at his daughter. Really looked at her. She wasn't the little girl he'd raised anymore. She was strong. Fierce. Real. Okay, he said quietly. Okay. Hashtag chapter 9. New beginnings. 1 year later, Sophia stood in her small apartment near the university. Nothing like the Whitmore mansion. Just 2 bedrooms, a tiny kitchen, and a living room that barely fit a couch. But it was theirs. Maria was in the kitchen cooking dinner. No uniform, just regular clothes. A soft smile on her face. Sophia, the rice is almost ready. Coming, Mom. The word still felt new. Strange. Wonderful. Mom. Sophia had legally changed her name to Sophia Maria Reyes Whitmore. Both families. Both histories. Both truths. Catherine visited sometimes. Awkward at first. But slowly they were building something new. Not mother and daughter, but maybe friends. Richard sent money every month. For college, he said. But Sophia knew it was guilt money. She took it anyway. Maria deserved it. The best part? Maria had started taking classes. English. Citizenship. She was studying to become a legal resident. To finally exist fully in the world. I'm 40 years old, Maria had said, scared. Too old to start over. You're not starting over, Sophia had told her. You're starting. For the first time. Now, as they sat down to dinner in their tiny apartment, Sophia looked at her mother. Really her mother. No secrets between them. What are you thinking about? Maria asked. About how weird life is, Sophia said. A year ago, I thought I was someone else entirely. And now I know I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be. Maria reached across the table and squeezed her hand. Me too, Mija. Me too. Outside, the city lights twinkled. Traffic hummed. The world kept spinning. But inside that small apartment, 2 women who had lost 18 years were finally home. Hashtag epilogue. 5 years later. Sophia graduated with honors. Degree in social work. Now she worked with immigrant families, helping mothers and children navigate the system. Maria became a citizen, got a job at a community center, teaching embroidery to young girls, passing down Rosa's art to a new generation. Catherine and Richard divorced. Catherine moved to a smaller house, volunteered at children's hospitals. She and Sophia had coffee once a month. Not mother and daughter, but something softer, something real. Richard retired early, started a scholarship fund for children of immigrant workers. "I can't fix the past," he told Sophia once, "but maybe I can help someone's future." And Sophia? She got a tattoo, a small butterfly on her wrist, like the nightlight Maria had given her all those years ago, because some lights never stop guiding you home, even in the darkest nights. The end.